Hi, and welcome again to Thompson's Video Corner. Our first few videos have pretty much focused on current events, but today we want to address one of the many questions received from our subscribers to highlight some of the everyday quandaries that grant recipients face out there. The question was submitted by a pass-through entity that had a subrecipient that sought to buy a van for transportation, although the grant agreement allowed only for a rental van expense. The entity asked if the subrecipient could purchase it instead, and also wondered if it could be treated as a capital asset or not. Finally, it wanted to know if the subrecipient had to sell the van after the 2-year grant ended, and where the funds should go. Although we are not providing legal advice, we can provide some guidance on this question. First of all, we want to stress that pass-through entities, to ensure their own compliance under an award, make sure that their subawardees and subcontractors follow applicable federal regulations, and the terms and conditions of the award agreement should reflect that. Now, this question involves 3 concerns: rebudgeting, equipment use, and disposition. Buying the van would change the approved budget for the program, necessitating a change in the budget and program plans. Under the prior approval provision in 200-407F involving equipment, and the budget revision provision at 200-308B of the Uniform Guidance, recipients are required to report deviations from project and program scope or objectives, and to request prior approvals from the federal awarding agencies for budget or program plan revisions. So, assuming that the awarding agency approves the purchase, then the pass-through should consider the requirements under 200-313 for equipment, because the threshold for equipment is $5,000. This provision states that equipment, or in this case the vehicle, must be used by the non-federal entity for the program or project for which it was acquired for as long as needed, whether or not the project or program continues to be supported by the federal award. When no longer needed for the original project or program, the equipment may be used for other activities supported by the awarding agency. Then, to address the question regarding selling the van, we encourage the pass-through to consider the provisions at 200-313E regarding disposal. Disposing of the vehicle should be conducted in accordance with the federal awarding agency's disposition instructions. Now, there are some specific factors to keep in mind under this provision. Number 1, if the vehicle has a current per unit fair market value of $5,000 or less, it may be retained, sold, or otherwise disposed of with no further obligation to the federal awarding agency. Second, assuming the federal awarding agency has not opted to vest in the vehicle and it has a current per unit fair market value greater than $5,000, it may be retained by the non-federal entity or sold. So what you want to do is check out the provisions at 200-313 for more on calculating the amount entitled to federal awarding agencies. Lastly, we encourage that it might be a good idea to contact their auditor for further advice. So, to sum it up, grants management is complex, to be sure, so rely on us here at Thompson to help guide you through the challenges and let us know where we can help. So, we hope this might have helped you too if you run into a similar situation. So, thanks everyone for watching and have a good day.